see, obviously, this is what I'm seeing here at the moment. I don't know whether I go back on this one, but anyhow, oh, go live. Ah, there we go. Awesome. Right. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we're now live, right? Awesome. So that's how it works. Sorry there about being a bit late, guys. Just had to figure out how this bloody new system works. It's strange. But it's cool, I like it. So it's like, what I have to do is, I have to, like, queue and, like, schedule the actual stream. Then I have to, like, actually put in the URL for the actual majigger over here. And then it starts working when I press go live. That's cool. I do like the fact I can actually schedule things. I mean, I suppose I've always been able to schedule things, but I've never really done that. But yeah, hey there guys, how you doing? Submat18, good to see you again. And Anno, good to see you again once more. The man with the plan, the man who shall forever remind me of not having the pilots. Okay, so I've got a map here from Commissar Roach, courtesy of the Roachman. Thank you very much here, Roach. What's up there, Battling Geezer? Welcome to the stream. I think it might be the first time seeing you here, actually. What's up there, Thrawn? How you doing? Okay, so I've got this map over here, courtesy of Commissar Roach, which is pretty cool, actually. We were discussing earlier in one of the, in the Discord here. So, what I'm going to do here then is show you guys. So, on the actual Discord now, so what I've done here is I've created 3 different rooms. So there's the Imperial Japanese and Imperial Japanese Navy, well, Imperial Japanese Army and Imperial Japanese Navy HQ over here. So this is going to be basically a room where we can actually discuss via voice chat, but obviously only those in the Imperial Japanese room can see that. The same goes for the Allied Forces, there's the Supreme Allied Command. And then from the Observers, I did make a room here called the United Nations Weeb Command. It amused me. I don't know what this block messages things is, so if you guys want to, like, inform me of that one, because I don't know what that one is. But, yeah, there we go. So, I was discussing in there with AT and, Commissar Roach. So, we were discussing the fact of really how to expect THG to actually react here. And, like, Roach and AT did make some really good points, and at the end of the day, it's like, I can't disagree with them. It's one of these things where it really depends on what his course of action is going to be, because it could really go anywhere. Huh, is that still showing Discord? Why is that showing Discord? Oh, right, okay, it's just taking a little while to catch up. So yeah, there we go. So, we were discussing the fact that he may continue to head north into the Marshall Islands to continue his raid over here. He may be doing this at full speed, so obviously he's going to be able to make some pretty damn quick progress. We do suspect that this might be the area which he may indeed have his logistical support. Now, I don't know, it really depends on how he approaches this situation. I think personally, I don't know if I'd approach it as such like this with the logistical elements so close by. Well, then again, I really don't know. I mean, this is the thing that we do not know here. Let's take a look at this then, shall we? Okay, so I think, can we fit them all on one screen? Yes, we can. Okay. So if we take a look at this then. So, the American Carrier Task Force is over here. That is about 52 hexes away from Pearl Harbor. So, if we assume that they were making about 8 hexes per... well, yeah, 8 hexes per day in total. We'll go with 52 divided by 8. So it would have taken him about 6.5 days. Now, if he's moving at full speed, and I think that would mean that he would be moving at 8 hexes per phase and 16 in total then. So if we do 52 divided by 16, yeah, he'd be there in about 3 days. So that would make sense. It would make sense as to why we were very unlucky in the fact that we didn't actually detect him. So obviously he could be moving out here at full speed. But we know full well from our own experience that moving at full speed is very costly. It does use a lot of fuel. So let's say that he moved down here in about 3 days. So let's say 3 days, give or take. As a possible, I don't know, as a possible time frame there. He might have also then gone, he might have gone over here to Johnston and then over here, which is still going to be a very similar sort of time. He might have actually refueled over here at Johnston if he indeed had any fuel there, to actually bump that fuel back up. But it would make sense that he's actually gone potentially at full speed to this area. Now, the plan there that we saw there from Roach basically is the idea that it'll head something like this, which, yeah, I could agree with. I don't know if he will do it, but I think it really depends on what his actual thinking here is. Which is going to be rather intriguing. That's a really bad arrow. So then, Roach. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, I need to figure out how this actual system works properly. And we were just discussing your plan to show that off there, Roach, and that was really appreciated. Don't attack Cormac with the small force. You attach... Okay, we'll go ahead and take a look at Cormac then, shall we? Now, it's a good point. And let's see here. If you want to make the war last another year, invade the Hawaiian Islands with 4 divisions, capture and hold them. Jesus. I mean, that would be a very bold plan. That would be an extraordinarily bold plan. And I'd love it if that was actually possible. I mean, well, I suppose it is possible. It'd be very, very bold. Very bold. Yeah, I saw the plan, man. It was awesome. I've shown it off to the stream. Unfortunately, you weren't here at the time, but I have shown the stream. And we'll be discussing that one a little bit more soon. Right, don't feel too bad about the Tanawa raid in real life. US raided Tanawa. Yeah. Seeking 8 auxiliary ships. I think with Tanawa, it is a sting, and it's one of these things where, yes, it does hurt, but ultimately it's not as bad as it could have been. I think perhaps in the future, if we suspect a carrier raid, we'll do our absolute best to get everything out there. I suppose I didn't count Tanawa as a primary target, but obviously this has given us an insight into the way that THG thinks, so I think in the future, obviously, we'll just not take any sort of chances and just get everything the hell out of that area, if it is potentially in the battle zone. But as far as it goes over here for Cormac, now we have been running reconnaissance for about 3 to 4 days now. A little bit of detection of that submarine, which is interesting. What could be a potential possibility here is either the force has been extracted out of Cormac or basically evacuated, which is potential, because obviously we did see one here on the first day of the battle over here in this area. And we have not seen it since. It looked like an orange force or something like that. So it might have been either Dutch or British, something of that sort of reason. Oh, he's talking, yes, okay. No, you're right, Banano. I suppose it comes down to 2 options here. I think either he's actually pulled that force out, but I think that'd be unlikely. But then again, he could have been doing that, but I do think it was unlikely. I think perhaps that force of actually, it may be beginning to march up here to New Air, because we haven't been launching any reconnaissance along these hexes here, which I think will change that. We'll run reconnaissance across the island, just in totality here, just so we can actually see that. Now, we do have an option here. We do have an option. We could potentially try to land over here at Cormac, and obviously secure the base, which would be nice. We do have another option, the fact that we could actually attempt to secure Bellop Islands as a preliminary little mini, I suppose a little divergent, which is actually, I'd say, probably a cautious approach. Were you trying to hold Midway? Do you have plans for the Alaska region? Yes, we do have plans for the Aleutians. We are waiting on additional troops to be made available for that, really. And do you get any new carriers in the future? Yes, we do. Let's take a look. We are improving the availability of the carrier as well, at least the time at which they'll arrive. We have the Yunyo, I can't remember how you say it now, but the Junyo class has been accelerated, so they will arrive earlier than they would have done historically. We'll gain the light carrier Shoho in 21 days. Then 5th of April, 3rd of July, so that's going to be quite good. Okay, so that's when they will arrive. Japan cannot win World War II, but to have any chance of holding out longer, they must capture Pearl Harbor. They cannot take Australia, it's much too big. See, Australia is something that is very much potential option here, to a degree. I mean, when it comes to it, I mean, Pearl Harbor is, well, I mean, the Hawaiian Islands are vulnerable to a degree, same as any island is vulnerable to a degree. I think at the end of the day, as far as it goes for Japan winning the war here, it's never going to be one of these things of winning a total war against the USA. It's not possible for Japan to do that. We can't invade the mainland USA and enforce our terms upon their government. We can't do that. It's simply not possible. If we landed on the US coastline, yeah, they'd be reinforced by, I think they gain about 2 armored divisions and some infantry divisions, and yeah, basically all their aircraft is for that. I think all the aircraft within 90 days are made ready for battle or something of that nature. Gyunyo. Jesus, that is just, yeah, that's a lot. Okay, I'll give it a go. So, Gyunyo. You just, yeah, just... we'll call it the J-class carrier then, if that makes it easier. Comeback is a better option, slightly defended for all. Yeah, you're right there. I mean, what we are going to do here is discuss the options. It's like, of course, I do have a float plane aboard Kirishima. Sorry, Kotori. I do have a float plane aboard Kotori. She does have range out about 6 hexes, which is quite good. So what we are going to do then is place her on naval... well, basically on reconnaissance here. I'll have this about 10,000 feet, that's plenty of altitude. Right. So, yeah, that is reconnaissance at the base there. She is 6 hexes away. Okay. I just want to check something here quickly. So if I was to put this on cruise speed... okay. Mission speed, yeah, okay. Junyo. Yeah, that'll make it a bit easier. Hello there, by the way, Blinson. So for those of you unaware, Blinson here, the Battle Group Gamer, and of course Commissar Roach. Both are superb content creators. Definitely recommend checking those guys out if you get the opportunity to do so. Yeah, Junyo. I go with Junyo. Okay. So we are going to set up our recon flight out here from Victory. I'm going to have the base selected as Luganville as our home base for this time being. So I'm quite happy that we got Kotori out of here. I think Tenru wasn't actually as... let's see here. So ship sunk last turn. Okay. She did have the speed. She had some nice capacity. It's a shame that we lost her. At the end of the day, it's something that's armoured. And it would have been very handy. Hello there, Infinite. How you doing, my friend? Have you ever read about Digboyd? I have not, but if you want to give me an idea of that, I probably might be familiar. It's a shame to have lost her for Buki. She was actually a fairly formidable destroyer there. But we'll be able to recover from that, more than likely. Hello there, Paul. How you doing, my friend? That's quite good, actually. It seems as if the Allied forces did lose the SS Pike over here. I think that was definitely by mines at Truck, which is good. At least that is a submarine that's out of the way there. Maybe Australia's too big to take, but what about New Zealand? See, the thing is, as far as I'm aware with how the system works, I believe if we land troops, I think it's something in the region of either Brisbane and a hex below Brisbane, this sort of area. Basically, if we land, I think the line is something like that. If we land anything in this sort of area on Australia, I think it does activate additional reinforcements. I don't believe they arrive in Australia, I think they arrive elsewhere, but it would actually have, it would give him release of immediate combat forces. Obviously, it'd take them time to arrive in the area, but it would be very dangerous. He'd actually have quite a strong force available for action. I think when it comes to Australia, the way I would like to approach this is specifically in areas such as this. So, for example, I do have designs upon Darwin, but I think the way to approach Darwin is potentially even to land at a base here or here, and then obviously make an approach around, cut the rail line. The beauty of this area over here, the beauty of potentially looking at Darwin, is the fact that if we take a look over here, there's a rail line, of course, but it goes from Darwin to Catherine here. It doesn't extend all the way to Delhi Waters. But if we take a look then at the road network, we can see obviously there is a decent road network between Darwin and Catherine, but the road network between the rest of these centres isn't particularly amazing. It leaves a lot to be desired. So, they'd eventually be able to make it here, of course, but they're not going to be able to move with immediate reinforcements, which would be quite nice. I do have designs upon Darwin as quite an interesting base, as it would be another base to deny to the Allies. I think what we'll do is we currently have the 56th Division on its way down to this area, give or take, in the next few days. What I'm going to do here is probably have them land at Rabaul, then from Rabaul we'll take control of New Britain. If we need to take control of this base, I might send up a follow-up force to do that, probably a follow-up force. But then I would like to land over here at Port Moresby, and I would like to secure Horn Island. So what I'd like to do is basically block this area off, seize control of the Solomon Sea and the Bismarck Sea. Of course, we'll have to start moving elements into New Guinea then to secure these bases over here. Basically, we do not want, we do not want the Malayan barrier to be in effect. We need to remove that. Your operation needs to get inside his decision loop. Absolutely. Just going to take a quick look at the link you sent me there, Infinite. Okay, military strategist. Okay. I'll definitely have to take a look at that one. Okay. Yes, also the issue is if we do land in New Zealand, I do believe it actually activates reinforcements as well. But the thing is, when it comes to it, New Zealand is rather intriguing. So if we take a look at this, as far as it goes for resources, I do believe there's a resource surplus generated in New Zealand. But I think the issue here... Yep, resources. Yep, okay. Fantastic. Right, okay, so there is a critical flaw then in New Zealand. It doesn't appear as if it generates any oil nor any fuel. So in reality, it has a huge amount of resources. It has a lot of industry, a fair amount of industry. I'm not gonna knock it. That's a fair amount. I wish I did own. But in effect, if we do isolate New Zealand to a decent degree, that fuel will dry up, especially as that heavy industry is in operation. Well, is in operations, and that fuel is the heavy industry is directly competing there with the naval assets in New Zealand. So it comes to a point at which if we do starve New Zealand, either one of the other is going to break. Basically, either the heavy industry is going to suck all the fuel dry, or the Navy is going to suck the fuel dry in New Zealand. So that's quite interesting. Now, what we are going to be looking at doing here then in future follow-up operations is we are going to seize Norfolk Island, we're going to seize Raoul Island. Well, Rule Island. Well, Raoul? I don't know. Lord Howe Island would be nice to seize as well. So, in effect, we're not going to land at New Zealand. I don't think it'd be worthwhile doing now, as at the end of the day we are already operating on a shoestring logistical line here. But this could definitely be carried out, and it would be rather intriguing as well, as the reason for taking these bases. So let's take a look at Lord Howe Island. Okay, so port capacity 1, air capacity 3. Air capacity 3 over here, there's already an airfield in operations, though there isn't a port, which is actually rather intriguing. If we take a look at Raoul Island, there's no port and no port possible, but an airfield is possible. Yep, you are right there, Infinite Monkey. Resource is not a goal. Most resource needs are met in existing territory. However, in New Zealand, they appear not to be. So as I can tell, I don't see any oil or fuel being produced over here. So, if we do isolate it, he will eventually run out of that. Use geography to your advantage. Between Japan and Hawaii are a million islands. Between the USA and Hawaii are 0. Quite right on that one. Take a look at this link here. Alright, okay. So this is actually in regards to the John Boyd. So let's see here. Unfolding circumstances, outside information, unfolding interaction with environment, implicit guidance and control, feed forward. Okay. Control traditions, analysis. Observe, orient, decide, and act. It's very good, actually. We'll have to bear this one in mind. I do like that. Definitely have to try and bear that one in mind. So, of course, it always begins with the observations. Previous experiences, new information. Interesting. Decisions are a hypothesis. Then an action, which is the test. Evolved an interaction with the environment, gives us the feedback, which leads to observation. So we'll observe, orient, decide, and act. Awesome. I like that. Right. If Japan takes the Hawaiian Islands, the USA can only counter attacks from the US West Coast. I mean, I'm not disagreeing there. I mean, if we were to seize the Hawaiian Islands, it would be pretty much a game changer. I think it's one of these operations where, I don't know, I think if we were to do that, we would have had to prepare for it from the start of the war, to be honest. But maybe in the future, absolutely a very, very remote maybe, but maybe. But for that to happen, I think we'd have to really deal quite a blow to the US carriers to possibly stand a chance. It very much depends on how many aircraft are here at Hawaii. But the beauty is that Hawaii, like New Zealand, like Australia, they need fuel. I believe India does need fuel as well. No fuel, oil outside SRA. Right. I'll have to take a look at that actually, that sounds really good. And when you see, when you say the SRA, are we talking about the, so you'll have to explain what you mean by SRA. Yeah, you are right about there's a lot of troops, and I'd imagine there's a lot of troops in Hawaii. It's one of these as to why I say it's something that we'd have to prepare for. It could be done, but it would require a massive, massive force. It'd be a very interesting one. On turn 26, you attacked 1 AP and 1 AK at the 2 APs and 1 AK. You destroyed 78 disabled. Right. It depends where, I know. I don't think it's actually still in Comac. So there, Kevin, how you doing, my dude? Yeah, I know. I don't know if there's an actual force in Comac. If there is a force, we'll not land at Comac, unless, obviously, we have the numbers to take it. But we have been running a few days worth of reconnaissance, and we haven't picked up really anything at Comac. Now, I wish I could actually see the amount of detection level here, because I wish it did actually display. It did look like a combat unit, potentially. But, of course, as you can see over here at Noumea, we've been running a few days of detection, and we've seen consistently a unit over here. It does make me wonder, perhaps he's sending a force back, maybe he's sending a force from Comac over here to Noumea. Maybe our information is obviously not as accurate as it would appear so. Which is more than likely. But, we need to begin operations then. If Comac is indeed empty, we will begin operations this week. Now, that is going to come down partly to the amount of troop capacity here. Actually, no, okay, that's quite good. I thought that troop capacity was 6,000 as well, but no, it's unlimited. Well, that's really nice. Okay, that actually eases things quite considerably. That actually does help me out a great deal. Very good. I tried taking Hawaii early on and it failed miserably. Just the coastal guns are going to sink half your landing ships. Yeah, I can bloody well imagine. Wouldn't taking Hawaii make for the point for the US to focus on its power? Perhaps so. If there's a force in Comac, it can't be that big if you haven't seen it yet. It'd be interesting. How many troops did Japan have doing not very much? Useful in China? I mean, we are playing with house rules. I can't just take forces out of China. That, and we do have to persecute the war in China. We do have to garrison China and hold China. The campaign in China is progressing nicely. It's obviously had some road bumps, but it is progressing nicely. It may come to a point in the future where we actually do have the ability, if we do win the war in China, to actually use those forces elsewhere. Though I'd say more than likely, some of them would be taken to the Pacific, but the vast majority would obviously then continue operations into India. Well, into Burma and India. But, I think we'll be able to go on here. I don't believe this force, I don't believe Katori will arrive here. She may arrive here next turn. Maybe. We are on fast transports here. They're loaded in combat mode, so that's good. It's a very small force. Ideally they arrive unopposed. That would be nice. Now, I do have the Maizuru first SLF. This is the rest of the units over here, so they are ready to go this turn. They do have only a couple hundred tons of supply there. It's only about, what, 409 tons of supply, which is not a lot. The good news is we do have a couple thousand tons of supply over here at Luganville. Obviously, it's not unloaded. It's still on the ships. I'm going to have one ship start to unload at Luganville, but I can have one ship sent over to Comac, or potentially two ships. We're going to keep them real as a mobile reserve. Obviously, I do want to have it actually put on an island or put into a base at the very least, so it's not actually in trouble, well, in danger of being sank by a torpedo, for example. So what we're going to do here then is remember the barges. I don't think the barges have the range to make it to Noumea. I don't think they do. What's the attack power of those forces sound to Comac? Let's take a quick look. Assault value is only 8. It's a very small unit here. And we're going to give an escort to the invasion force, don't worry. Right, Hawaii landing requires most of the combined Japanese fleet to support it. The US tries to stop. It's difficult. Okay, oil location scenario 1 and okay. That's actually very handy there. Thank you very much, Infinite. Very handy. I mean, Balikpapan is actually one of the largest ones there. I mean, obviously Palembang. I mean, of course, the vast majority of the oil and fuel is in the Dutch East Indies, which is obviously what we are keen on taking. Now, we do have an operation over here at Taiping. Well, we have a battle that will be fought over here at Taiping. I have the forces in shock attack. I think that should be doable. There's a force here of only 900, give or take. Detection isn't perfect, but it's still pretty good. Now, we do have 2,232 infantry, 26 guns, and 1,620 second-line troops. So I think we do have the force and the capability to run this as a shock attack. A fair commander. I may give him a better commander, perhaps. So once Taiping falls here, we'll have the rest of the forces able to then move up via the rail line. I am going to then, for the most part, have the armor make its way down here, basically allow units to move as fast as humanly possible down to these areas. Now, the terrain doesn't favor the armor being let loose, but we do have the clear terrain here, which might aid us. It's going to be good. Once we move into this hex here, then we are going to make up quite a bit of that speed there. We'll gain a decent bit of distance. Also, we are moving down the jungle, which is the issue. I mean, once we reach this area where it is clear terrain, the progress is going to really, really speed up. Okay, southern resource area. Ah, fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay. So I will look at running detection along this area as well. Okay. Well, what we'll do here then is we'll decide on our operations down this way, and then we'll really move out to the rest of the campaign. Now, from what I can see here, or really lack of what I can see over here, I'm not seeing any ships as such, but it doesn't mean that they're not just actually holed up in the port over here. That's most definitely possible. Now, what we'll do here then is just continue to run basically a blockade of the actual islands. I can do this at a distance, as obviously I do want to be outside of the detection range, so we'll pull back out, and then we'll head back in. So yeah, we'll pull back, blitzkrieg Japanese style, pretty much. And the issue is, I'd like us to be able to actually achieve, I don't know. If we could achieve the historical date, I'd be happy. If we could actually achieve faster than that, I would be even happier. We've had some setbacks, which obviously have extended the campaign there to a fair degree. But ideally we can make up for that, and obviously still gain the very important base of Singapore in, I don't know, ideally the historical time frame. So there, Flint, how you doing, my dude? So we're going to pull back with our submarines over here. Now, these submarines over here at Pego, they are actually undetected as far as I can tell. They appear to be undetected. So I'm running patrols around this area. I do believe I saw from the operations log that we did see some aircraft over Savai. So he is running actual reconnaissance of this base here. I'd imagine he's pretty much seeing the familiar side here of the 51st Naval Guard. Now the 51st has actually been preparing for, well yeah, they've been preparing for quite a while, they've been planning. I may have that commander reassigned, he's not particularly amazing, but we could do with these good commanders elsewhere. This force is going to come in handy in the future, I can guarantee you that. If we are able to push ourselves into this, into the Samoan Islands in any decent force, that force there could be very handy in taking Pego, how the hell we pronounce it. Don't get me wrong, Duke. Don't get me wrong, if I could take Hawaii, I would do, but I don't have really anything in place for that. it's one of those where if we'd actually set out at the start of the campaign with that in mind, then perhaps the logistics and the actual forces could have been potentially built up to allow for such a campaign. But it's one of these things of where, well, we don't have it in place right now. Alright, I'll definitely have to take a look at that. Okay. So we do have our submarines over here then. Obviously, Arrow 33 has been sighted, but you're going to be moving back towards Brisbane. Endurance 3400, 4100 here. Okay. Now, let's see. I'm going to patrol around about this area here. Yeah, as Roach explains there, it's one of these things of, as I said, to pull off that sort of operation, we would have absolutely had to be planning for it. So there, Richard, how you doing, my friend? Yep, it absolutely is the greatest ASMR channel. Actually, you know what? I'm not even kidding you. Wait 1 second. Let me see if I can find this now. Okay. So, by the way, those of you who are aware of Richard York, he is a fantastic content creator. Definitely worth going out and checking him. Checking him out? Yeah, just check him out. I don't know. Assess the man, assess his virility, and make your own choices. But subscribe to him as well, because he's a good dude. Right, yep, here we go. So, I actually take the piss with this tag. Yeah, this was my little bit of like, yeah. So technically, yes, this is considered ASMR. Oh dear. Okay. And maybe try out a little quick single-player campaign where you capture Hawaii from the start soon. I mean, we could maybe have a go at that. I'd have to get a scenario a full-blown scenario set up to potentially attempt that. I am a better Ruby, aren't I? I know, right? I wish I had the money for that sort of microphone. Jesus Christ. Okay. Right, so we are setting up for a patrol along the coast here. I do believe this is a general area where his ships will be passing from Sydney to Brisbane. Okay. We already have Midway. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it would be a nice logistical drop-off point, or jumping point. Staging point, I suppose you could say. But we just don't have the assets in play to arrive to that sort of conclusion there. Can you show the schedule for the arrival of submarines? Yep, sure. Let's take a look then. So, ships, not sunk, sorry. Availability. If we take a look, so the submarines over here. The next submarine here then will be arriving 33 days, 50 days, 66, 69. So the I-28, 27, 29, 30 indeed. These are submarine transports. A very small amount of cargo capacity, but they will find uses. They are armed with AAA here, actually. Yep, eventually they'll start coming with the radar. Yep, radar. Okay. So we'll make our way over here then to Comac. Just has to be done. Now, if I take a look at the actual weather of the area, we do have thunderstorms over here and thunderstorms over here. It might potentially give an indication as to why we don't have any information. But I think we can get away with it. I'm pretty sure there isn't anything there. It could be wrong, it could be very much the opposite and there are troops there. But I'm not... I don't know, we're going to run additional reconnaissance here. Duke, I honestly do agree. The thing is, it's just, the reality is here is our troops are just not in that position. If they had been deployed differently from the outset of the war, then yes. But you have to bear in mind the fact that we're deployed here to actually oppose the Allied forces in the South Pacific, definitely not in the Central Pacific. And should I start learning to speak Japanese? Well, technically you're already speaking Japanese now, you just don't realize it. You've internalized Japanese to such a degree that you just don't even notice it anymore. There we go. Right, we're going to run reconnaissance along the interior of the island, actually. Now go up the altitude there. I do have only 2 more... No, actually no, we do have a couple more Jeg squadrons, that's handy. Right, we'll take some... right, that one doesn't count. Tone has some... We'll take some from the Tone here. You know, I'm disappointed in myself, I didn't even notice this was going on till now. What's up there, Parrot? Hello there, Talon, how you doing, my friend? Welcome, by the way, there, Pizza. I think it's probably... I think it's the first stream I've seen you in, but either way, welcome, welcome. I've already targeted there. Okay, so, new mayor once again. See... Right, so we're going to be running reconnaissance then across the entirety of the island here. So ideally we'll be able to pick up on any enemy forces. I don't believe... I think Katori could arrive there, but I'm not entirely sure. She might... yeah, I think she may make it there. If she's moving at 4 hexes per phase, then she'll definitely make it there. It does... I don't know. Is it actually within the yellow, or is it just outside the yellow? Either way, she may arrive here tomorrow, she may arrive the day after. Today. Okay. So we'll begin prepping for a follow-up operation here. No. We do have Tatsuta and Yabari. The speed here is 12 knots. Okay, let's take a look at these ships here. AA is 44. Yes, 101. Oh, see you later, AT. Have a good one. Well, if when you take Malaya, Singapore, Philippines, Hawaiian Islands should be your next target, it's it's going to be a very interesting one. I mean, this isn't December 1941 anymore. We don't quite have the overwhelming carrier supremacy that we did have. It's no longer a 2-to-1 ratio. He does have a 4th carrier, and obviously the US is gearing up for war, so there will be forces there that weren't previously there in December. It's one of these things, I think when it comes to the Hawaiian Islands, it would have been a case of either very early in the war, or very much, if we're very successful in 42-43 perhaps. Okay, so let's take a look over here then. So I do have a couple of destroyers over here. Fuel is going to be a primary concern, to be fair. I'm half tempted to actually assign a heavy cruiser and potentially 2 patrol boats, as at least then we are getting a decent amount of bang for our buck. But then again, it's probably worthwhile to go in with a little bit more of a way of security. But I suppose then again, Kiributai is on station nearby, so we'll see really. Okay. I'll release the light cruiser Tatsuta. And I'll release... Well, this is it. I'm not too keen on the destroyers here because I don't have a huge amount of fuel. I'm going to release the actual patrol boats, Kijo Maru and Nikai... Nikai? How the hell you pronounce it? Nikai Maru over here as well. I could actually send an additional 2 patrol boats there. They're not too bad, actually. They're basically armed freighters, aren't they? Okay, I'm going to release the Santos Maru and the Kaiton Maru. No, it's not a very speedy force here. You haven't missed there too much there, Pirate. Just obviously going over the actual game here as we go on. Not too far into the actual stream here. Wow, 38 minutes. Jesus Christ, that went quick. Okay. I think this should be around about enough. I don't believe he has any sort of aircraft over here at New Caledonia. We are aware of aircraft over here at Fiji. I'm just a little bit... I don't want to be throwing my warships out there and wasting that fuel at the moment. Though... I think I will release a heavy cruiser. I'll release the cruiser Kinagusa. We'll discuss that one shortly, actually. Pirate is a good one to go over. We are going to have to spend a lot of time on that one. Okay, so I'm going to release the heavy cruiser Kinagusa and the light cruiser Tatsuta. So we do have 200 AA there. An additional 44, then I think these patrol boats have, yeah, 44. So it's an okay amount of AA, it's not a massive amount. I do it's enough to actually protect the actual force here. We do have 4 patrol boats, so we have 6, well, 2 warships, 4 patrol boats, yeah, so we should be able to more or less shield them to a degree. But that's a decent amount of force. I mean, the heavy cruiser Kinagusa is pretty good against any small opposition. Yeah. Obviously, we have patrols. Obviously, very slow, but at the end of the day, they could be used to shield the actual cruisers. So we are going to have them make their way now towards Comac. Obviously, they're going to make slower progress than normal, as obviously they're detaching themselves from the port here. Is fuel on the way to the south to support the operation? We have a tanker already over here at Luganville, which is unloading as we speak, which is going to take some time, but it will be ongoing. I do have an oiler over here, the Hayamoto. She's already on station, and she's basically going to be there to help refuel Kidabutai. We do have a light cruiser here, Yabari, as well as an additional 2 destroyers and a destroyer minesweeper. Okay. Yep, we have these bad boys here. The Moonlight is quite good. It is. Okay. Right, the base force has been unloaded here as well. Now, what I plan on doing is taking fuel from the cargo ships for the most part. Also, we don't have as many as we once did, but there's still a fair amount of fuel in them. Also, we do have fuel unloading over here as well. Oh, don't worry about it there, Joseph Stalin. At the end of the day, this is very much different to the sort of RTS that you would expect. As of course it's not an RTS, sorry, RTS is in fact an operational level game. But, trust me, there is just beauty in the logistics here. Absolute beauty. Okay, so that would actually be the plan here. So we're going to have Kidabutai continue on its way north. We do have enough fuel here. I'd say maybe enough fuel to make it back to, possibly Truck. If I was to set out straight away to Truck. Remember, level 1 ports can only store 3,000 fuel without some fuel getting lost to spoilage. Yep. We're not going to be unloading all that fuel there. Which is why it's very good for us to actually be looking at taking control of like Comac, as well as additional ports there, just to actually be able to spread out that fuel. And just logistics in general. Okay, so we'd actually have fuel to make it back to Truck. Only the destroyer Hamikaze. So it's pretty much, it's pretty, like, balls to the wall here in terms of fuel. Perhaps we'll just make our way directly to Truck. I could do that, I could have the Hayamoto actually just trail her along the way. I do actually have another oiler out here, so it might be that we even, let's see, whereabouts is it? It's around here somewhere. Yep, so I do have the oiler over here, so that is with 2 destroyers as an escort. It has a fair amount of fuel. So Yamakaze and Kawakaze, they're all pretty much ready to go. Then we could have them actually spend some time at Tulagi. Fuel spoilage is basically like fuel is lost overboard or basically lost on the unloading process. Okay, so they will be passing Tulagi here. That's fine. So what we're going to do here then is I'm going to have the task force actually head here to Tulagi. The oiler Iro can just hold up at this location. I do have an escort which I'm going to put on to actual ASW mission. It's nothing particularly spectacular, but at the end of the day, at least it is something to actually ideally protect the port here, or at least the anchorage. Yeah, we do have the depth charger. She's not particularly amazing, but it's something. It is something that can help protect us. So we're going to have them patrol the actual port. Yep, you're absolutely right there. The thing is, we are... we're going to be approaching the situation very much the same way as the US did. We're not going to invade every island, we're not going to fight every battle unless we need to. Now, New Caledonia is a very important location due to its proximity to Australia, New Zealand and Fiji, just this area in general. It's a very strategic location. On top of that, it does have resources and light industry, so it does have the capability to actually, albeit a very small amount of supplies being produced there, but it does actually give us some sort of longevity in the area. Of course, there's no fuel being produced there, but at least there are supplies that do have the potential to be produced there. Of course, if we were to take New Mare, I'd have to spend time to repair it and a lot of supply to repair it, but it could be one of those things where perhaps it's worthwhile, but at the end of the day, even if it isn't functional for us, if it's not functional for him and we deny it to him, at least that is something that he's not benefiting from. Okay. So the surface combat force over here will remain in position. So let's take a look. Base forces here. Do we have the battleships and the heavy cruisers? Right. What I'm going to do here then is form a destroy and minesweeper force. I'll have it changed then to an ASW mission. Okay, so I do have W7 and W8. Change that mission to ASW. Again, this is just a little bit of additional security around the actual anchorage. There we go. Okay. Now, we could have this force actually merge with Kidabutai as it passes, which I'd say is probably a decent way of doing it. Obviously have it replenish and then join up. But let's take it like, well, take a look at it, yeah, take a look at it like this. So I do have a force over here that will arrive at Tulagi. I've got one down here as well at Luganville. We should have another one up around this sort of area. Obviously that is near in trucks, so fuel isn't as much of a consideration there to that point. I think I do have 2 oilers ready to go as well. So we do have some logistics in place here to actually allow us to really extend the range of Kidabutai, which is good. I think what we need to do here is really go for the speed and just movement. Remember, right, okay, with New Mare captured, the Allies have no airbase from which they can fly planes into the Solomon Sea. Yeah, that's going to be one of the things we want to do here. Optimum size for an ASW task force is 3 ships. Okay, 3 one-ship task forces worth than 1 free ship. Right, okay, well that's good to know. So let's take a look then. We'll merge them. Of course, I'm taking the patrol boats down to New Caledonia. I'll throw in one of the destroyers here. There we go. In the Coral Sea and the Solomon Sea scenario of the planes from New Mare, we can't say. See, this is it. We do have the 56th Division over here at Formosa. Let's take a look. Now you're loading up. You're almost ready, so you'll be ready to go tomorrow. Actually appears as if you're just loading the supply here at the moment. Probably not a bad idea, and I'll allow them to actually finish loading up. They should be done tomorrow, most likely. I mean, that is a hell of a lot of logistics in play for that to happen. Okay, let's see. So we do have 3 destroyers here. We're able to make some pretty good progress here. I do have 2 escorts as well at 19 knots, so they're quite good. No larger warship as such, but that's not too bad of an escort force there. So 3 destroyers, 2 escorts. Obviously these ships are moving at 18 knots, so this is a fairly speedy force. Of course, I would like to actually throw additional amount of escort into that. So I do have 2 destroyers over here that were sent as, obviously there's a submarine around the Pescadores Island. Not Pescadores. I do have 2 light cruisers over here. Okay, what we're going to do with these bad boys then? They're going to go over here to Takao. They're going to meet Task Force 5 and merge. Merge with Task Force 5. Okay. So I do have a light cruiser here. Obviously that was intended to be part of the actual force. So let's see, can I actually have it assigned into here? No, I don't believe she can be assigned into due to the fact that she's a fast transport mission. But we can have them follow that force alongside anyhow. Basically within the same hex. And technically they're still within the same 40 nautical miles, but at the end of the day, it's yeah. They're a separate force, so could lead to some bad things, but at least they could be as close as they possibly can be. I wanted to actually take the additional engineers, as it will prove to be quite handy, I'd imagine. Oh dear. Okay. So we are docked here. Right, what we'll do then is I'm going to set the task force routing. So I want you to follow task force 5. Yeah, trail by 0 hexes, basically follow them. There we go. What we're going to do then is this force will actually benefit. So we'll call this the just call it 56th Division, then at least we know who we're talking about. Okay. Let's take a look at possible locations. I mean, I'm going to more than likely have it begin to make its way directly to Truck. If we take a look at that is a direct route, which is 50 hexes, which is actually not too bad. If I was to head down to Babal Dawab, that is 32 hexes, but obviously then we'd still have to make our way down. I think it comes down to the fact of, if I was to deploy them to Babal Dawab, I'd be really using them in operations out here. I'm going to have them sent to Truck, first and foremost. As in all honesty, it does give us a lot of flexibility there. Just having a full division is going to be very, very handy. The idea will be to use them. If we don't have forces in place to take Rabaul before that, have them land a Rabaul. But I would like to use them as basically a sledgehammer. If we find resistance that we can't defeat with our forces in the area quickly, then I'll look to use the division. Basically, we need to approach this with a sledgehammer. It's the reason why we're looking at New Caledonia as we are. We're not just going to land over here at Noumea. It's possible that we could win, and it's one of these where it'd be a hell of a fight. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to land... I'm either going to land here at Noumea, or I'm going to march from Comac. And I'm going to go with marching from Comac for the most point. But we're not going to go here with similar numbers. We are going to go here with numbers to beat their own. We're going to go here with ideally more equipment, more guns. And if I can get vehicles down here, I bloody well will do. Because vehicles would be very much welcomed. We need to approach this as overkill is just the way to do this. There's not going to be any other way. If we take our time, we're wasting time. Frankly. We've wasted time with mistakes and failed operations, but, well, not really much in failed operations. I suppose this would be our first technical operation. So there's that regard. How you doing, my friend? Either way. Right. So, Kidabutai will be running reconnaissance then of the entire island over here then. Our aircraft will of course still be running naval attack. So obviously if there's anything in the area, they will probably pick it up and attack if there's anything here. It seems there's only a PT boat over here, but as far as we can tell, there's nothing over here at Comac. What I'm going to do here then, actually we do have a decent amount of endurance here at Comac, that's nice. So what we're going to do here then is, actually let's take a look. So of course we do have to bear in mind the coral reefs. Yep, okay. So what we're going to do here then, I'm going to patrol the other side of Comac. So, we'll go on a, yeah, so start here. Well, actually, start to the north. Move to here. And then back to Comac. There we go. So at least then he's going to be moving there. Right. I mean, Kotori, she can handle herself for the most part. She's not as well armoured as his Tenri was. But she's not just another cargo ship. She can actually look after herself to a degree. If there's any... I mean, if it's a PT boat, she could probably handle that. Well, more than likely handle that. South Pacific equals early Guadalcanal. We'll see about that, Infinite. We'll see. We do own Guadalcanal, we do own the Shortlands. It's going to be an interesting one. It very much depends on how he approaches the situation. We can also, well, we can of course see his carriers are over here now. So he's knocking on the door over here at Tarawa. We're going to have, yeah, we'll have Kidibutai make its way north. They're going to be making their way towards Truck. I'm not going to explicitly have them make their way towards Tarawa as such. Depending on the situation, it really does depend on how THG approaches this. Now, there is a great possibility he may head north. Now, personally, I do not think this is the path he will take, as I would consider it just a little too bold. It's not to say he won't do it. He could absolutely do it. Absolutely could be a possible move for him. And it's one of these where it would lead to him raiding these islands. But I suppose there's always a possibility he may go straight on. There's a possibility he might retreat. There's a possibility he might even head south. There's a possibility he might even head up this way. He could head in any sort of direction here. It's just trying to figure out what makes the most sense. We'll prepare for a possible movement to the north towards the Marsh Islands. Now, I need to move the H6Ks out of here. We'll start by doing that. Okay. To be honest, the only thing he can do against his submarines is be careful with his convoys. Ah, it's up there, Justin, how you doing, my friend? Okay, so I'm going to cancel this, obviously, and have them move to another base. Of course, it's still going to mean that some of the aircraft are remaining here. Now, it depends on what airfield he's going to hit. So, airfield over here is a size 1, port capacity 3. At Roynama, it's a capacity of 4, but a port capacity of 2. I suppose it depends on which island he believes to be the biggest danger. The good news is at least we do have these islands around here that are actually, well, they do have some defenses. They also do have some aviation support, and yeah, that's going to come in handy. We do have those float planes there, so at least we can run reconnaissance from a number of different islands here. His best bet is a quick strike north and a turn east back to safety. Yep, I mean, as we discussed with Commissar Roach, it does make a lot of sense. I don't know if it's going to be the one he goes for, but it's absolutely a possibility. Absolutely a possibility. What direction are those fleets travelling in? So he's moving west, moving west. He needs to sink your ship in rainy bases is just an inconvenience. And this is why the strike at Tarawa did sting. Curious as the chaps make his art. And THG is known as the Butcher. Wouldn't put it past him to pull a full frontal attack. Who calls him the Butcher? That's great. Is this going to turn into something like the Four Corners or something? Jesus Christ, am I part of the rabbits? Are we the rabbits? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the H6K4Ls over here to Truck. Now, the good news is we do have a decent amount of aviation support over here at Truck, courtesy of the 11th Air Fleet. So obviously going to tell them just, we'll tell them to just train, but for the time being, I'd like to have them recover that fatigue. So just rest for the time being. Right. What you need to do is you need to go and send those aircraft out with escorts tonight or day, doesn't matter. It's an interesting one. I may go for a night attack as it could be worthwhile to have the aircraft out there. The coordination is going to be abysmal. It really is going to be quite bad. It's a possibility. It is a possibility, but it's a difficult one. Let's take a look at what we have here in terms of reconnaissance. So at Tarawa remaining then, obviously we do have these H6K4s, which we are going to move the hell out of here. It's a shame I'm still going to have 7 on the ground. Okay. What's up there, Freddy? How you doing, my friend? Are you going to concentrate your search planes in the direction of his carriers? See, the thing is, I need to get the H6K4s moving. But what I'll do here, then, let's take a look at the range. So, Ponape isn't too distant. I think we do have an increasing amount of aviation support. And THG got the nickname from his old Ultimate General War streams. Oh god, it reminds me of a good of Maxentius now. What the hell would my nickname be? Why don't I have a cool nickname then? I can imagine it probably would be the, fucking hell, what would it be? I can't think of anything like snappy. Results of night raids are garbage, don't waste pilots. See, I'm considering actually moving the aircraft from KYJ to an extent. It's really going to be an interesting one. I think it really depends on, is it going to hit the port or is it going to hit the airfield? But do we want to be in KYJ when that happens either way? Probably not. So, let's take a look at what we actually have then. So, the actual G3M2s over here. These guys are currently set... Well, obviously we were messing with their options. They were previously on ASW missions. The X, yeah. X gonna give it to you. Fuck waiting for you to come get it. X gonna deliver it to you. I think I got the lyrics wrong there, but that's cool. Okay. We do have a lot of reserves here, but even so. See, yeah, this is it. It really depends. I think a betting man... I suppose it's this, isn't it, really? Is he going to be fearing ships in the area, but then again he does have a large amount of submarines here. He'll have some sort of information to suggest that, right, okay, the waters have been fairly empty. Or Skippy could work. Skippy. Oh dear. Right. So we do have level 4 fortifications on KWJ, so we do at least have some mitigation to the mitigation to actual damage here. Yes, we do have escorts. We do have 27 KI-43s over here at the moment. I believe I might be able to get the additional 3 in, perhaps. Right. Transfer base. There we go. Okay. So they are assigned to the 24th Air Flotilla here as well. Might be worthwhile actually choosing a superior squadron leader here. But actually, it's not too bad. In fact, he's one of the best squadron commanders, so I'll take that back. So we now have 30 KI-43s here. Yeah, we weren't... Well, these G3 settings obviously were from the ASW. Actually, let's take a look at the actual combat report then, shall we? Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers then. That's not a lot of actual escorts. On blood and guts. No, I like that. Do you think it's worth a raid there, Oscar? Sorry, Infinite. Do we run it at day, or do we run it at night? What is the supply at Roynema? At Roynema, we do have 12,000 tons. I think the difficulty here is, I mean, I could send additional naval bomber squadrons, but I don't think it'd be a good idea. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you could do that, that'd be nice information there. I think it was higher than that. Yeah, we could change it so obviously they're focused on this area. It would improve their chances of actually detecting the target, but let's see. Want to scare someone, put torpedo carrying planes attacking their carriers. I mean, it put the fear of God into him. I can say that one. I suppose in some ways we do have the best squadron in the area. I mean, these are G3s, obviously they're not as good as the G4s, but at the end of the day we do have 8 planes in reserve. We do have 63 in the pool, so we could, like, this is the only bomber, the only naval bomber which I could actually attempt to run the risk with. Alright. 50 naval surge, 50 attack, with heavy escort. I mean, I'd throw everything at the escort. Alright, okay, so the numbers are accurate. Now, if I attempt to run this as a night operation, I don't have, from what I can see, I don't have the ability to dictate in what direction they move, as far as I can tell. It seems only in the day of which we can actually do that. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of combat air patrol. We see 20 fighters here, 28 here, 29 here. We do now have 30 Ki-43s. I mean, yeah. He's got his best fighters here. It's going to come down to really the pilot's experience, I suppose. If we take a look at the pilots that we actually have here, we do have fairly good pilots for the most part. Obviously, he's not as good as the rest, but for the most part, the squadron is fairly good. Fair bit of fatigue on some of these pilots, however. The planes do have fatigue, but it's nothing outrageous, but obviously it's going to make a difference. Yeah, 3 carriers here. I mean, that level of combat air patrol does really show fear, really, doesn't it? And with good reason. He knows I have naval bombers here. I mean, what's the weather like? That's something to bear in mind. Actually, let's see. Yeah, I do have 9 A5 M4s over here. Obviously, they're not bloody going to do much. They could be moved to KYJ, or they could be moved to Roinema. Obviously, they don't have the particular range, but it might be something to potentially escort them further. Right. Okay, so what's the advice here? No rest, 20 to 30 combat air patrol, divide unit into 3 so that each subgroup can escort. So normal radius is about 15, which is, yeah, that's what we need. So what you're suggesting here then? Are the Claudes okay? Yeah. As in like combat air patrol. We will be running night reconnaissance with the actual floatplanes around here. God damn it. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we do benefit from the fact that, obviously, everything is assigned to the 24th Air Flotilla. The 24th Air Flotilla is here. They do have plenty of torpedoes available. It's a shame they don't have any actual defensive AA guns. But they're all here. So at least we will benefit from a much greater degree of coordination. Yeah. Now we do have a decent amount of actual naval search, and I will look to actually send some additional search over here as well. There's no engineers, but what I'll do is actually send this group. So I'm going to transfer them to that base over here. Okay, no rest for the wicked. Now, I do have some Jakes over here, as well as some additional Mavises. Yes, you're right. So what altitude are we thinking here for the actual strike? Are we going to go for 8,000 feet? I mean, obviously, or do we go for... I don't know. Oh, Carl, you're the firebrand, aren't you? You're the firebrand to my eyes. Yes, we shall turn the aircraft into submarines. Das Unterseebooten. Unterseebooten. Okay, I'm going to set them to 8,000 just for the time being. And the issue is also the range. I'm going to set the range lower, I do believe. Naval search 100%. If I have them 100% on naval search, will they actually attack? Altitude does not really matter. Okay. So if I have them set at 100% naval attack, they will still attack if they discover the target. It's not just going... Right, okay. At least they will all be in the air, so that's not too bad. So should we go for a very low level... Right, 6,000. Range should be 12, yep. What's the distance here from KYJ to the actual... Yeah, so it's about 13. Right, not the nails, okay. Yeah, that's what I was confused about, actually. Okay, that's just me misunderstanding about what Infinite's saying. Okay, so 6,000 altitude, 6,000 feet, 12 range, that works. Right. Now, they were on 30% combat patrol. They did have 70% rest, so the pilots have had some rest, obviously not as much as they would need, but at least they've had some. So what we are going to do here, then, is have them set to escort duties. Now, I suppose we can't obviously set this as a target, can we? No, obviously not. It would be nice if I could actually give them a target, but we can't. So we'll have them set down to 6,000 feet as well. Obviously, that'll improve their coordination. So looking at 12 hexes here. Eight days. Yeah, we'll be attempting to use submarines actually to try and figure out where his actual logistical train is. That's going to be the plan there. We do have G3s over here. We do have another squadron of G3s over... Sorry, G4s over here at Wake. Issue is I'm lacking on aviation support. Okay, what I'm going to do here then is have the Kawaii detachment. The Kawaii detachment. I like it. Right, we'll transfer them. Let's see, are they at their maximum range? 6 with drop tanks, Jesus Christ. Okay. They will be moving towards him. I don't want to risk the H6K4s because they are quite valuable. I mean, at the end of the day, there was obviously an idea, I believe it was by Admiral King from the US Navy, to use them as basically attack craft, but they're very large. They're quite lumbering, aren't they? Oh, we're actually considering this. I mean... It's a possibility. Okay. I'll have these actual aircraft move then. So it seems it's either Roy Namur or KRJ. That would mean an additional hex further away. We'll have them assigned... Do we have them assigned to KRJ? Yeah, I suppose this is it, isn't it? We do have H6K4 production going ahead quite nicely. We do have a couple in reserve. I suppose at the end of the day it would really alleviate the issues I have, because obviously I don't really have a location for them. I mean, they are right on close by as well, so they may have a good chance. And then durability and defense firepower will make it easier for them to penetrate. It's a fair... back in... yeah, okay. I mean, do we attempt the H6K4s at night, perhaps? The float planes can. I mean, if there's an... I mean, unless there's a float plane, then they need an airfield. But if there's an airfield, they can. True. That's bloody true, that Infinite. You son of a bitch. I think it's one of these things of... you are quite right. Okay. We'll send these to KRJ then. Yeah, detection level, of course. So I suppose we can run a H6K4s at 50% naval search, and then obviously the rest can attack. There's a few of them, really. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm just trying to imagine just the results of if we actually do strike lucky. Yeah. I love that you guys my firebrands. Yeah, just close your eyes and think of the Emperor. The claws are shine. I might even have them operate at 25,000 feet, as at least then they may have the ability to drop on the enemy. Now they're actually currently set to escort. Right. That's true. He's actually a fairly good commander here, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I suppose in reality, worst case scenario is we lose a squadron, which will hurt, don't get me wrong. I think what I'm afraid of is if we throw a squadron at him and we score no hits. 20k should be high enough. Fair enough. I was thinking then, he's used to me at 20k, but I suppose even 18k. Okay. We'll go with about 18 then. We'll go with 100% combat patrol then. We'll have them set obviously over KWJ. Yeah, I mean at the end of the day we don't really want anything on the ground, do we? And we do have a decent squadron of H6Ks over here as well. We do have another 2 4G4s. Sorry, 2 G4s. 2 more will be ready tomorrow. I'm back in duck for the night launch. See, with the night launch, if I could actually direct it in a certain area, then I'd love to, but it's one of these of we are very unlikely to actually find the enemy. It's a difficult one. Okay, naval attack. Have them armed. I mean, this is it. At the end of the day, if they do bloody get a hit, I mean, that is 2 torpedoes potentially. That is a... They do have a decent amount of durability. Decent gun load. They're slow. Very slow. Well, actually, at maximum speed, they're not too bad. Someone's fatigue is at 102, is it? I think if they had 102 fatigue, they'd probably be dead. Oh my... Oh no, that's the actual aircraft, which is why it's in maintenance. Okay, they're going to be going out. Right. Yeah, the H6K4 is going to be using torpedoes, don't we? The issue is I don't know if these H6K4s will be able to use torpedoes down here at Talawa. No, it seems not. Then again, they are on naval search. No, it seems like the Lord is not merciful. I could have them transferred to Roynama. It might be worthwhile to have them transferred to Roynama. At least then they can actually use torpedoes. At the end of the day, yeah, I'd rather run the risk with torpedoes. So I'm thinking we'll transfer the H6K4s to Roynama, man. You know what would be amazing, go on. Yeah, I mean, if we if we sank... I mean, Jesus Christ, if we sank... I mean, we don't even have to sink a carrier, but if we actually hit a carrier, Jesus Christ. I think that'd be... Jesus Christ, I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to go get a bloody bottle of champagne to celebrate. Jesus. I mean, the chances are there. There is a chance. There's a very small chance. I doubt it's an invasion at Tarawa. And even if he does launch an invasion here, there's not a huge amount of... Well, actually, no, that's not too bad. There's about 1,229 infantry here. 2,600 second line, there's 39 troops. It's about 76 AV here, so it's not a huge amount of defense, but it's still actually some infantry here. So they could be potentially fought off. Yeah. We do have some AA over here, which is nice. Yeah. Okay. How many hexes is KYJ away from Hawaii? So KYJ to Hawaii is, well, to Pearl Harbor is 52 hexes. To Johnston is 33 hexes. I mean, that's the only other friendly base in between Hawaii and KYJ. Of course, there is Palmyra. I mean, if there is an invasion force, I'd be very surprised. I would be very, very surprised. Yeah. And I was discussing this earlier. I mean, last night, sorry, and earlier on Discord I was discussing it. And to be honest, of all the locations for him to hit, I suppose at the end of the day, it does sting that he's hit at Tarawa, and he's actually put some ships at the bottom. Obviously, he's going to have to spend some time to actually hit those ships again. I suppose there is a beauty in this, in the fact that if he does deem to actually hit Tarawa again, he is going to have to send his bombers out. He is going to have to send at least a partial amount of his combat air patrol out there. So at least that is going to see us with a reduced level of combat air patrol, which is obviously what we're sort of hoping for. Yeah, absolutely is. But I suppose I did expect an attack over here at Wade due to the fact it is isolated. And fairly close by, I thought it'd be the safer path. Even over here at Midway, but then again, he couldn't really do much at Midway. The marshals obviously are protected, and he knows that. Tarawa is isolated, but it's interesting because it is very close to Kitabutai, so I think it's one of these where it's possibly a high reward. Well, I don't know. Of course, he might think it's a very high reward. He knows that Tarawa has been used as a staging base, but obviously the staging base has since moved to Luganville and to the south there. I mean, had this been a few days earlier, he could have caused a lot of damage, but thankfully we got a decent number of the forces out of there. Obviously, I would have loved to have got everything out there, but, yeah. And then in Tarawa, when you know Kitabutai is so close and you're outnumbered 2-1 in CVs, yeah. I mean, he knows that there's naval bombers to the north as well. I mean, this is it. I don't think he's going to move to the north, but at least with the H6Ks, we still have the ability to launch attacks down here, which would be quite incredible. I mean, that's 13 hexes, that's well within our operational range there for the H6Ks. And if we're going out there with torpedoes in decently large numbers, I mean, there's a chance that they might make it through. Since the spotter says there were 6 carriers, yeah. I do think there's actually potential for 4 battleships in here. I think there might be a battleship in here. But it depends really on the speed. I mean, how fast are the American battleships? Right, what we're going to do here then is actually bring up the save and the tracker. It depends really on the speed of the battleships. I mean, it's like, I'd wonder if there was a battleship. Maybe, but I'd say it'd be fairly unlikely. It could be, I'd imagine it'd be more than likely in a logistical force following up behind it, as obviously would provide a fair amount of security. Oh, well, there we go, that makes it easy. Old battleships at 18 knots. Yeah, I know, right? Everything else goes 21 knots. So they're very slow. Oops. Right, Ben. So it would obviously make a lot of sense for them to be in a follow-up force, then. Okay. Right. Yeah. And it definitely looks as if there's heavy cruisers or light cruisers anyhow. As obviously he does have float plane. Yeah, so they are there. Obviously he does have float planes, so obviously he does have cruisers there. Right. It may not amount to anything, but it, yeah, you are right, Ben. This is a place where you take a shot. I mean, we'll go for it. Right, you can see speeding game using ship database. Okay. Did you remake the big boat? The big boat. Oh dear. I think we lost 6 sub a little while ago. We've had damaged subs, but yeah. Right, okay. In the current version of Hearthstone 4, your ships are going 33 to 45 knots. What the fuck? See, that's why that game's crazy. I mean, 33 to 45 knots. 45 fucking knots? What the hell? That's insane. Right, okay, well what we're going to do here then is transfer the H6K4s, at least the ones that can move to KOJ. Well, let's see. The H6K4s are over here then at Roynema. There's one here, we should have... Yeah, we have 2 over here. What we'll look to do then is just combine them into full squadrons if we can, sorry. Yokohama KUT1, Yokohama KUT2. But is that part of the same unit? It's part of the KYJ squadron. I mean, the squadron's really split up. Did you take India? I wish we'd taken India. Okay. Tadawan Wake Island. Okay, we'll transfer them to Roynema. At least the airfield is larger. Obviously it doesn't have a huge amount of aviation support, but we can deal with that after. It's a shame that 7 aircraft are still going to be on the ground here, but that can't be helped. I'm thinking I'll have the H6K4s attack at about... I don't know, I think about 7,000 feet to avoid the KA-43's escorting them. Okay. Have you played one of these? Yes, I have. These are guys on Wake. I'm going to transfer them back. Yeah, we'll attempt to move them that way. I was hoping I could have actually combined them, but it seems not. put them all at the same altitude and split the Oscars into 3 groups. Okay, that's fair enough. Assign decent squadron commanders. Especially you. Okay, so that's 3 groups of 10, which is still, yeah. It's not a great deal, but at least it's something that will escort them. And I suppose at the end of the day, if there's 3 groups, then at least there is a decent chance that at least some of them will be on there. Yeah, the Oscars are all using drop tanks, but yeah, absolutely need to make sure they are. There we go. They weren't for a second. The 2 G4s could be using torpedoes, yes. Dear. Okay. I mean, I do have 7 of them in reserve, so at least we have numbers. It's going to hurt us now as it comes to aviation support. So we are drawn on, yeah, we're drawn on a lot of aviation here. I suppose it's not too bad. 33, we have 20. It's not too terribly bad. At least in the future we'll be able to sort the situation out. I mean, if we do score a hit, it would be incredible. Okay. Right. And we send in everything then at 12 hexes, then including the H6K force. I mean, it obviously would make sense as at least then everything has a chance to receive some sort of escort. Yeah, we're going to do the search arcs. Uh, 40 knots. Our warship gonna 2 battleship speeds with 4 nuclear reactors. The fuck? Jesus. Just there's only bloody 2 planes here, so it's 50-50 no matter which way we look at that. Right, we'll send this out. Do not do search arcs. I mean, that works to me. High detection chances. Fair enough. Okay, so everything there is flying 6,000 feet at, well, 12 hex range. I've tested search arcs and they do not work in newly transferred air groups. Okay. And I suppose that makes sense, obviously it's the planning that's in there. Hmm. Okay, so it's stacked over here. It's a shame that we can't get more out, but at least they are going to be out there. Morale's not too bad. Okay. I'd like to actually improve the ability of our squadron commanders. Apparently 54 is the amazing number. We'll send Yamada. I mean, this is going to cost me some political points here. But at the end of the day, it's worthwhile. Okay, so I do have one... Yeah, okay, you're not doing anything. Yeah, you're out of action no matter what. Wow, yeah, that's no good. This is going to cost us on a political front, but it's worthwhile if we actually have decent squadron leaders here. If it increases, if it increases the chances that they make it through, then it's worthwhile. Okay. We'll set up the actual early warning, I suppose you can call it. Okay, F1 M2Ps. It's a shame that these bad boys also need rest. They need to move from this island, there's just not enough aviation support. And the issue with these H6K4s is they have such a high service requirement, it's just so bloody difficult. We'll have to pick them up via just bloody transports, move them elsewhere. Okay. Now, I do have some F1 M2Ps here. Let's see. Could I move them to Macan Island? Possibly so, but it's one of these that we're just wasting our time. I'll give it a go. Oh, not lounge, you'd have some. It's interesting. I suppose you at least need to have something there then. Whoa. Okay, where the hell am I? I'll shift them back. Okay, get a new pilot. There we go. Of course, we do have 2 AV required here. We don't actually have any AV here. But, I think this one's worthwhile for the time being. As at least it does give me a little bit more detection. I'm trying to really just boost it in here. Right, we do have a fair amount of detection here. Okay. In fairness, I, I did have Major do the pilot training. We'll have to go out to pick these planes up. But I think in this specific regards it's worthwhile. I'll have a aircraft sent over here actually. A aviation sport, it would be worthwhile to have something there. I'll have the E7s transferred there. He may actually move out into this side, which is most likely. The question is, do I... Well, we'll try to run... If we have some, we might try it. It's got to be aviation support, unfortunately. Engineers just don't give it, per se. If it carrier torps, put 10 to 20 naval surge, 80 to 90 attack. Oh, we can put Pete's on combat patrol, wow. That's pretty amusing. Actually, you know what? It's actually rather funny. They actually don't have a terrible amount of gun value. That's actually rather amusing. That must be because obviously the tail gun there. That's pretty amusing. I mean, it might be worthwhile to transfer. Yeah, it might even be worth it. I mean, I can't send them to an escort, but they could be put on combat patrol. Yeah, right. Okay. I'll bear that one in mind there, Duke. Thank you. Are we talking about then having them just basically run combat air patrol, like long-range combat air patrol? It could be potentially worthwhile. Okay, just combat air patrol over the bomber bases. Right, okay. That makes sense. Okay, we can go in now. I suppose at the end of the day, if they do have a shot, at least then they could potentially have a chance to take a bomber down, maybe. Right. Yeah, you are right. You are right. We'll transfer them to KOJ. That's true. I'll place these guys about 18,000 feet then, perhaps. I'd love to see his face, though, if the mighty devastatingly impressive F1M2 people to take down his F4Fs. That'd be amusing as fuck. They do have a decent endurance. Yeah, no, you're right. You are right. I mean, it would be a better way to use them rather than have them sat on the sidelines. We have some F1M2 Pete, so well, we have a reconnaissance aircraft on that island that will obviously still run reconnaissance, but yeah, fuck it, why not? Why not? Fuck it. In for a penny, in for a pound, basically. At least we do have some actual AA here, so yeah, the biplanes would be... The biplane memes would be legendary. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, nothing's really expendable to a degree, but the F1M2 Pete's we do, they will be phased out. Swordfish would be proud. I think, I bloody bet he would. Okay, so I do have some Jakes over here. I am going to have these Jakes transferred. I suppose it has answered the big question, really, as to where his carriers are. I'd say it'd be worthwhile having them transferred to Roynamar, really. What's up, man? Good man, how you doing? I mean, if it makes all of this irrelevant, then at the end of the day, at least we are prepared for if he does come. If he heads back and this is the worst it's going to be, then fair enough. We'll continue with our plans, really as they go. Now, of course, I'd like to have these Jakes sent over here to Tulagi. I think I'll have them sent to Tulagi. Yeah, we'll have them sent on to Tulagi, to be fair. At the end of the day, that does give me, sight out here in the Coral Sea. So at the end of the day, we do need to proceed with our operations. We do need to obviously prepare, because there might be other threats that we're not aware of. So I'll have them sent over here to Tulagi. There we go. Obviously, fatigue's building up there, so let's see. We'll go with about 50-50. Well, actually, no, about I'd say about 60-40, give or take. Well, we'll go with 50-50. Okay. Ah, too late. Do I transfer an additional squadron? And I do have G3s here, I have a squadron of G4s. Do we transfer additional naval bombers in here? Obviously it would increase the chance of which we might be able to penetrate his combat air patrol, but what do we think here? Yeah, Tulagi has a aircraft tender. So Tulagi actually does have, I mean, it was the purpose of this base here. So we do have the AV to support it. It would be nice, as obviously I don't really have much in the way of aerial reconnaissance here in the Coral Sea, so it would be good to actually start identifying what's going on here. In fact, I'm going to up it to about 30-70, fuck it. They can rest when they die. I might transfer one additional squadron. But we really have to bear in mind that the aviation support is going to be a big concern here. I do have the bombers from over here at Wake. I do have another H6K4 here as well. And I have nothing to lose but the aircraft, but it's... I'm a little bit worried about going absolutely mental and it really impacting on our aircraft, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't come, it's going to hurt, but we'll go. I suppose we'll transfer potentially another squadron. Transfer you to Kawajima. Sorry, Roynamar. No, I can't give them another pilot. Okay. Right. I mean, endurance is getting low there. I don't have fuel over here at Talawa, that's the issue. 50 seconds. It may be worthwhile to head away, to be honest. There's always the opportunity he moves over here. Yeah, it's a dangerous time. Set them a waypoint way over here. I really do not want them to get caught, so. Okay, I'm gonna have you dispatched to Lagi first. I mean, he's not aware of these forces over here. So it would be a stretch of the imagination to think he may go down this way and obviously put him in an interesting position. I suppose it is a little bit of perhaps overcautiousness. I'll have them route towards Comac. They'll travel amongst the same path, but I mean, if this infantry regiment does go down, then I would be I'd be very, very upset. Yeah. I mean, this is it. If they do go down, it is going to be a waste of the aircraft, but I suppose it's one of these things. If we do get the actual opportunity to, I mean, it's just one of these, isn't it? I suppose the chance is worth the damage if we do hit. If we do hit, then yeah, it could be potentially it could be something that could change the entirety of 42. It could be something that changes the entirety of 43. Possibly. It's unknown. It really is unknown. And we'll see. There's not a 100% chance he even turns north either, so we'll just have to see how things turn out. Just have to see. But yeah, I mean, if we do get a hit on the county, it would be fucking awesome. Okay. We'll just have them round towards truck as normal then. Maybe. I'm not too particularly keen on that. We know the Rangers carrier planes, more or less. We can double check in a moment. Okay, head that way, Venom. I'm going to send another squadron of G3M2s. At least then they'll be able to more easily coordinate. It's a larger squadron as well, so at least there's additional chances there. At least we'll have the, yeah, they're assigned to the 24th Air Flotilla as well. 2 of them aren't going to be flying, but... yeah. Just allow them to rest in the meantime. I think this is all I'll send there. $6,000 feet, 12, yeah. I do desperately need additional aviation support out that way. The, Betty's a basic KWJ. I know it's not the best airfield, but at the end of the day, they're already there now. At least it is where the Oscars are as well, so at least it does improve the coordination. I know it's not exactly great. But if they can manage it for a day or two, then we'll sort things out. Netties and KOJ are not going to fly. Does it need to be a larger airbase then? Right, okay. Alright then, well what we'll do then is we'll go back and reload the save then. We'll just have to go through things again, but that's worthwhile. It won't take us long. Yeah, good thing we didn't do a lot of other stuff beforehand. Okay. Right, so the H6K4s, obviously they're going to be transferred as much before. Right, so their base must be at least size 2 then. That's fine. Okay. Right where then it is. To truck these guys go. No, we didn't lose a lot of progress. At the end of the day, it's worthwhile. We spent most of the time actually just talking about this one area here, so it's not too bad. Now, I do have the G4s over here. I just have to reassign the commands, but that's not an issue. At the end of the day, if it actually means that we do have a successful operation, then it's well worthwhile. So now that Infinite, have a good one, my friend. I think we've got the basics here, so that's okay. To Roynham, there they go. Definitely exciting time here, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, it'll not take us too long now. Obviously, once we have the settings, we'll adjust the commanders here quickly too. Give them just the best commanders, really. At least if he does hit KWJ, which, I don't know, he may hit KWJ, he may hit Roynham, but at least if he does go for KWJ as a principal island, he may see this as a principal island, ideally. And hit that. We can actually transfer the Jakes over this way now. We'll do that then. Okay, 50, obviously we want better. There we go. And obviously it's costing us the political points, but that's fine. Right, escort over KWJ. Yeah, I really do like the Drakenefel. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce his name. He's a cool guy, though. I might have to ask him if we could like have perhaps like some sort of chat, because that'd be really quite interesting. Right, 12,000 feet. Oh no, we're going at 6,000, yeah. There we go. Same altitude as our attack planes. Yeah. Have a Jake's transferred to KWJ. Or possibly, let's see, how much do we have spare? Transfer these 6 F1M2 Peeps. Yeah, okay, at least we can handle this. What do I have spare here? Okay, that's cool then. Yeah, I'll have to try and get in contact with the guy. No, but I really do like his content, I really do. He's got one of those really nice voices too. There we go. So I do have my bloody ace W4 here. Obviously this is the G4s. I might have the G4s like transferred to another base perhaps. Or we might keep them in position now. Issue is they can't use their torpedoes, so they're not really doing me too much out here. I think I might have them transferred to truck. That's probably a better idea. Okay. So I'm going to take the first KUK. We'll have them transferred to Roinamer. Well, actually, we'll just double check on the aviation at Roinamer. We'll see what it's looking like. I do not want to really massively overload it. Okay, it's already overloaded. Okay, buggered it. Maximum effort for this one turn. Alright, that's pretty awesome there, Duke. No, I do hope he has a good time, to be honest. As much as a good time as you can really have. But now at least he gets to see the world. That's nice. Yeah, we are going to, don't we? But always good point to bring up. There we go. So 70 level bombers and 29 patrol. That's a fair old force. Might be through sheer weight and numbers that we could break through. Yeah, they're all in 50. I think we'll have a very good chance to detect him if he obviously doesn't move to the north, but at the end of the day, detection level is very, very definitely king. Okay, so I do actually have some janks over here as well. Ah, no, these are the same janks, okay. He's posted in the USA at the moment. That's pretty impressive. I hope he has a really good time. Okay, what I'm going to do here then is transfer. Let's see. He's going to hit something. I mean, if it does work out, I mean, I'm very, very happy that at least we did get the Ki-43s out here. So at least there is something that is actually a little bit more formidable than a A6, what was it, A5M4? Yeah. I mean, this is it. We're not guaranteed to hit anything, but Jesus, if we do that, it would be amazing. I mean, even if we can take some of his actual surface ships, that'd be nice, but yeah. No, I can totally get that one. It's like I've got family in the US. It's like I'd like to one day move to the US, to be honest. I just think it's one of those places where it's frankly more opportunity, in my opinion. That and the actual... I mean, the actual land itself is amazing. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like... you can go through so many different climates. It's just unreal. I mean, personally, I'd love to one day move to, I don't know, maybe like Colorado. Maybe Colorado. Maybe like the New England area. But the New England area is a little bit more... I suppose it's a little bit like home. I don't know, somewhere mountainous. Somewhere mountainous. I don't think California, because it's too fucking hot. I don't know, somewhere a little bit cooler. Maybe Washington? Maybe somewhere around that area. What's up there, listener? How you doing, my dude? Okay, what the hell was I just doing? Oh dear. Okay, so I'm not going to transfer them there. I suppose at the end of the day it's not worth it if there's no AV. Honestly, they'll just break down. Okay, we do have another 2 H6K4s here. Transfer to Rhinamar. Right. There we go. He is a English naval pilot. I think he mainly likes the girls. No, that's understandable. That's understandable. No, I hope he has a good time, man. No, thanks for sharing that as well. That's always nice. Okay. What do we have here? You probably want Oregon or Washington. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oregon or Washington area. And I just think with California, it's too goddamn hot. I'd probably bloody melt. Okay, what do we have here? So we do have 8 AV here. I might transfer the Jakes there. At least they're in a decent position. They're not as likely to be hit. There's obviously defensive. There's a decent amount of... yeah, we actually have a base force here as well. Which obviously not a huge amount of AV, but at least it's an actual decent force. To be fair, I'd probably have this transferred over to like Rhinamar or like KYJ in the coming days. Pretty nice force, not gonna lie. Okay. And obviously I'd like to have them down there, but I suppose for this turn we'll go for that full effort. At the end of the day, would definitely have an incredible payoff. Without a bloody doubt. Okay, GGG Special Base Force will dock up here. That's still been unloaded. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so I think we'll get this finished here. I wasn't kidding when I said this is probably going to be one of the longer turns. And we'll probably end up having to go into third stream. But that'll be more than likely tomorrow. Give or take, depends really. I am playing a game of Fields of Glory 2 against Richard York tomorrow. So that's going to be rather interesting, about 9 PM. Right. Let's double check all the settings here. I'll have some aircraft run night ops. It's only hot here for a few months of the summer. Okay, well that's nice to know. Right, what we're going to do here then. See. See, there's a decent amount of endurance in these bad boys. They are very slow though. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be a fan of like moving to like a big area like that. So these bad boys would obviously be destroyed. They don't have any torpedoes. If they had torpedoes, I could consider it, but yeah, we'd be just basically sending a armed cargo ship against the fleet. I'd be interested to see, but have you set the biplanes? Yeah, we're living this one, aren't we? Yeah, maximum effort. Then obviously you're not going to be doing anything, so there's not particularly much point there. Oh, right, there we go. Almost missed that one. That was a close one. I mean, California is a massive state, isn't it? Okay, at least they're all using drop tanks. That's good. Glad we checked on that one. Okay. I'm going to try and get the patrol boats out of here. We'll have them make for Nauru Island. I'll have them head out at full speed. At the end of the day, it might even attract enemy dive bombers, so... They do have some AA. Not a huge lot, but some. Not terribly bad maneuver, obviously not great maneuver. But if they survive, they'll be able to serve me throughout the war. I'd rather not lose them so easily. There's a part of me that thought, do we send them at the carriers? But at the end of the day, if these were destroyers, I'd consider it, but they're not bloody destroyers by any means of the imagination. They would be detected and just destroyed. It could be possibly disrupting to his forces, but it's not worth it. I'd rather these guys survive and live to fight another day, really. Okay. Shame you're damaged. Right, do not unload. Yangusa, Tatsuta, and the patrol boats. Sounds like some kind of band there. Right. The good news is at least we can actually afford to reduce the amount of combat air patrol on our carrier fighters, as the enemy has, well, made themselves known, so we can give our pilots some rest in the meantime. One 113, 114. There we go, and then new mare. Lovely jumbling. Still carrier capable. I'm hoping that they'll actually be able to pick up like carrier trained sooner or later. Like if you take a look, obviously these guys are carrier trained and capable. Okay, what I'm going to do is actually drop the combat air patrol to about 30%. All aces and 2s drop to 30%. The A5 and 4s I'm going to keep on 50%. Maybe just drop it to 30%, and then at least they actually have some rest too. But I'll assign a little bit of a mixed altitude here, so about 18. There we go. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the plans are here. Kidabutai is going to be making its way north. They're going to have... and this is it. Do we have them head towards Tarawa itself? Let's see. If we follow this path, obviously that's going to have us head towards the other side of the New Hebrides. I think it's... I don't think it's going to linger at Tarawa. So what I'm going to do is actually have them make plans to actually head directly to Truck. The reason for that is they're going to then pass the 2 oilers, so I do have the option to actually refuel them on the fly if needs be. We'll have them make their way up here. At least then they are moving, ideally out of his detection radius. Well, detection abilities. So, yeah, so Kidabutai is going to be making their way up there. Now, if the Yanks move up over here towards the Marshlands, at least we do have a chance to fight them. If they move back, well, we're going to use submarines to try and deal with that. If they move forward, well, then Kidabutai may be able to interdict them anyhow. There's a lot of options here. We're hoping that his actual aircraft are going to hit Tarawa again. I mean, obviously not hoping. It'd be nice for those ships to survive, but it's not very likely. But if he does hit the ships there again, at least a lot of his actual dive bombers and just attack planes in general are busy. Not a great deal of his combat air patrol will go there, but at least there is a chance that it will actually take some of the combat air patrol out. So that's always a nice thing. I lived on Thursday Island, that's a great name. In the Torres Strait for a couple of years, wow. Huh. That's actually really impressive there, my friend. So the Australian strike plan is not happening. No, it won't, unfortunately. We are going to be looking at a potential invasion of Australia, so don't worry about that one. Okay, let's patrol around him now. Okay. I apologize that we're going over old moves, but at the end of the day, at least they're going to be done. Right. So you're on the way. You've obviously got your reconnaissance set up. What do we have here? Oh, right. So additional elements to the 144th. Yep. Other elements to the 144th. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool there, Ijuke. I like that. Right, so take the 2 light cruisers over here, have them also merge again with the amphibious force. Task Force 5, which is going to be renamed to the 56. Well, you know which force I was trying to rename. Damn it. God damn it. Ooh, it's absolute right, okay. Haha. There we go. That is in Emperor's hands, okay, yeah, no way. Australia is roughly the same size as the USA, minus Alaska. Japan was never going to invade. In any case, the Aussie diggers beat the Japanese in New Guinea. Yeah, I mean, we are in a situation now where things are going to be radically different if we can hope for it. I'd like to take control. I mean, we are going to have this unit dispatched towards Truck, but then ultimately the 56th is going to be making its way down to take Rabaul. Once Rabaul forms, we'll take control of Port Moresby, then Horn Island. I'd like to take control of Darwin through the ways of Wyndham. Just this general area, really. We say it, but this is a possibility. This could be done. It's isolated. It does have an okay port. There's resources here, obviously. I mean, he may very well be transporting fuel here. So, got to bear in mind, if we actually do take Darwin and there's fuel there, that'd be really awesome. I mean, it would be the port that would make sense for that. Okay. Might be worth it to head down to this area, to be fair. Hello there, Marauder. How you doing, my friend? So for those of you who are unaware of Marauder PL, he is one of my colleagues in the Garrett Grigsby's War in the East play-by-email game where we are playing as the Red Army. He also has his own channel. He's very good. He's much, much better at one of these than I am. We'll just finish off our submarine movements over here, and then we'll go and take a quick look over at China. Okay, I'm going to have them patrol. I'm going to say similarly along the Brisbane route. There we go. The Emperor attacked the pilots. Yeah, ideally. I mean, this is it. If we do get ourselves into position. I mean, obviously, he did hit us over here at Tarawa. But we do have the Marshall Islands actually set up in some sort of defensive action. that may have a chance to succeed. I mean, they hate 6K4s at the end of the day. And these bad boys are carrying about 2 torpedoes each. I mean, it's a good thing we actually do have a decent amount of torpedoes here, as we are going to go through them. The funny thing is in this game you need to take Emu Land. India or America to win. Emu Land. Yeah, I mean, the operations in China are going fairly well. I mean, Cheng Chao did fall to our forces last turn after he abandoned the city. And rightfully so. He knows that he doesn't have a particularly great chance to actually hold the city, as we do have our army group moving in. So that's a large amount of force there. I mean, about 49,187 infantry, 64,000 second line troops. Also, we do have near 1,200 vehicles and just near 1,100 guns. These forces will arrive in Cheng Chao next turn. Colonies. We'll see, man. We'll see. We know what we're putting ourselves in for. We know what the risk is. Okay, 35th. They're moving on Cheng Chao. The 40th Brigade is going to remain in its position alongside the RGC and the NCPC. Right. Hello there, Vincent Ray. How you doing, my friend? Okay, you're moving on to Cheng Chao. Artillery's moving there as well. Okay, the AA Battalion. They're going to move up to Cheng Chao as well. Okay, so the only elements that could remain here are the 40th Brigade, which is not too bad. I mean, we do have a fair amount of infantry there. I'm honestly like, what are you saying there, Vincent? Is there a boy down the well? What the hell are you on about? Oh dear. Okay, I think I did dispatch some additional reinforcements to actually help garrison this area. There's one of these. I think it was over here at Sinsin, or Sinsin. I think it was the regiment I was sending. Yeah, we'll have them march. Ideally so. I mean, we are waiting for our forces to mass over here at Cheng Chao. Now, we did launch an attack over here at Wen Chao last turn. So we did have the 3 divisions going to that. They didn't take too much in the way of damage. We take a look at the combat reports, not operational reports. We'll take a look at the combat. Well, in fairness, actually, I do need to check on the actual industry here then, so 2 secs. So we are running the updated turn. Okay. 2,100 points there. See, resources are actually increased, which is good. Also, we need the oil and fuel. Now, what I want to check on here then is armament points. How many do we actually have here? 4,671. So how many armament points are we actually using here? I think the charge is taking a few seconds. There we go. Right. Right, okay. So we are obviously producing armament points again. I may... Careful of somebody in the yard, so yeah, you are absolutely right. I think what we will be doing more than likely is... probably for the most part, we may consider actually either halting the convoys in the Yellow Sea for the time being and allowing the resources to make their way down Korea. At least then they'd be safe until we can actually really... I don't know, it's one of these things of where I'm not too particularly comfortable with the amount of actual escorts we have. We might hold on, but it's one of these. We'll decide on that probably next stream. I think we'll have a 3rd one. Now, I'm considering actually turning off the armament production for another turn, perhaps. Well, I mean, if we take a look at it in terms of heavy industry, we can see here then. So, obviously, this is when we started. This might have been when the actual heavy industry did suffer from the lack of supplies. I think that's somewhere around here where we did have a lack of supplies. But the heavy industry has been going up. In terms of actual points in the actual pool, it's been going consistently up. I mean, obviously we have had armament production turned off for a long time. You can see obviously here where we've turned it back on, starting to increase once again. I mean, this is it. The Chinese theatre was the only theatre where the Japanese really had success. I suppose relatively, well, relative success. We will be able to win the war in China. We can definitely do that. I mean, the game is fantastic. It doesn't particularly simulate the Chinese war very well. Though in the future, I'd like to play another play-by-email game where there is obviously stacking limits, and obviously it does take far, far longer in China. Obviously higher garrison requirements. I think we'll continue with another turn's worth of armaments production, potentially another 2 days worth. Try and stockpile maybe about 10,000 points, then take a look at the situation. And I found the bloody vehicle point position interesting, but I suppose at the end of the day we are trying to build up our vehicles, aren't we? If we take a look at this then, so... I mean, vehicles, yeah, they are being used, so they must be going into different units or something of that nature. I really do need to figure out the LCUs. Right, let's see here. So... bases, let's see, Japan, region... Japan itself. Right. Resource history. Right, so we can see here that the amount of supply has increased, which is good. Right, 9947, let's double check that. Okay, so yeah, so that's the current amount. So the supply is increasing here. We need some armaments to equip the artillery units you have to rebuild, yeah. So we'll keep the armament production going then for the time being. So 8098, 9384, 9061, 7956. Okay, so it's going to take us a few days then to obviously build up the amount of supply there. Anyhow, going back... Oh. Oh, hello there. Oh, wow. Okay, this was one we didn't actually know about. So the SS Sargo there has actually met her end at the island of Pescadores. On fire heavy. Yeah, she hit 2 mines. So that was what we heard hitting the mines then. Well, that's fantastic then. That is really fantastic. Okay, Vincent, I've no idea what you're saying there, bud. The largest defeat the Imperial Japanese Army ever suffered was in Burma, 1944-45, fighting an Anglo-Indian army. I mean, this is it. The Allied forces, obviously, for the most part, other than in really Indian Burma, and I suppose, obviously, Malaya, the opening stages of the campaign, never really faced the Imperial Japanese Army in any sort of particular high levels of strength. Right. Okay. So that's great news. So I'm going to say that the Sargo is more than like... Oh, wow, she hit a 3rd mine. Fuck me, she got absolutely fucked. Yeah, if that thing's not dead, then I don't know what is. Because that is... that's a lot of damage. She's... pretty fucked up. I'm gonna have to tease THG about that one. He can't complain about my submarine mines anymore. So he's lost a submarine to mines at Trek, and he's lost a submarine to mines at Pescadores. So that's fantastic. At least we can see that the mines are, in fact, actually working. But that's a phenomenal result there, to actually see him losing potentially 2 mines there. Yeah, definitely need to sort that one out. Okay. I don't know why the A6720s aren't intercepting the B-17s. They're running about 16,000 feet here. Well, that's a lot of damage. Not too bad over here, but we did lose a few aces from 2-0, so I don't think I even particularly want to do that again, but we'll see. I don't think he'll go for it again either, but we definitely need to rest our aces from 2-0s. They did in Burma. Field Marshal Salim and the British 14th Army tried to destroy the Japanese army. Yeah. Yeah, oof to the evil Americans. Yeah, here we go, Wenchao. So, we did suffer about 1,400 casualties there. 9 squads destroyed, 140 disabled, obviously fair amount. But the Allied forces, then obviously the Chinese forces, 969 casualties, 37 squads destroyed. God, I'm getting bloody tongue-tied here. Just gonna have a bit of water. Okay. So they did lose 29 guns. What sort of detection do we have here? Not particularly great, so I would like to run some reconnaissance flights here. 108 guns. We do have 4 times the amount of guns they do. Obviously, he does have more troops in... Actually, does he have more troops in total? In terms of actual troops in total, we actually do have roughly the same numbers. Yeah, we can definitely go for another deliberate attack there. The guy had a bit of a warning. I don't mind people obviously different languages, but when they're spamming things it gets a little bit irritating. He's not banned, he's just in timeout, so he'll be back. Right, plenty of aircraft over here. Okay, reconnaissance. We'll run about 10,000 feet. We'll make our target over here at Wenchao. There we go. We should be able to manage this. Maybe a day, more, maybe 2 more days. It should fall. Okay. Right then, so we do have our transports over here. Is it okay if I say something much? Maybe if you'd like to. Okay, the Hong Kong detachment. How many supplies do I have here? Sorry, how many resources do I have here at Hong Kong? 5,000, not a huge amount, is it really? What about a Canton? 40,000 tons. We do actually have some nice ships here, like the Kyushu. Okay, let's take a look at this. So disband the Kyushu. Right, so these guys are going to head up to Canton. We're going to actually pick up some resources there. Okay, we have our Ki-44s over here. I'd like to get them in the action somewhere. Okay. I don't think they have the range to reach, they can't reach Saigon. They're using the drop tanks. They're not using the drop tanks. Now they're using the drop tanks. How far away is Saigon? Motherfucker. Well, Cam Bay is within range. Sure, if you'd like to say about Pirate, feel free. I really bloody need to get these kind of footfalls into action somewhere. I'll have them transferred to Camran Bay. Looks at Irish language. Right, there we go. Right. There's a few mines over here at Hong Kong. Nothing here to see now, just a funny memory. That's pretty cool. Hi. There we go. Now what I'd like to do here then, let's go into the actual port of Hong Kong. So we do have the Hawaii Maru. Now we do have the submarine tender conversion, we do have the aircraft tender conversion. Also, this is going to take a very long time to actually have it converted. Very, very long time. I'm going to go ahead and, to be honest, I'd love to have it converted to an auxiliary repair ship. But that one isn't available until April 42. I could potentially wait, even an AKE would be very handy. And the aircraft tender would be brilliant. But I really do like the auxiliary repair, and I do like the auxiliary, well, the ammunition ship. We might decide on that one in the future then. So she can remain here for the time being. Which is a really, really good platform for a ship, to be honest. Okay, so we're loading just supplies here. So we do have a construction actual units over here. We're going to have them move down to... I might have them move down to Muri. Maybe. I think I'm going to have the Singapore Express move out this area here to support the landings in Mindanao. He is aware of one of the landings. A little bit of a detection. But I'd imagine that's probably the magic intercept. Can you play Finland next? Hell yeah. I really do need these engineers down the Pacific, to be honest. Can you make the Toho Maru carrier? Maybe. That's a very, very bloody bold path. Yeah, Zulu is a very good film. I really love Waterloo 1975. That's an incredibly good film. Go with the safer round. Can you refit anything into carrier? We can refit the seaplane carriers. Sorry, seaplane cruisers into carriers. Okay. Right, you're still loading supplies. Still loading supply. Loading has been completed here. Can you refit anything into seaplane cruisers and then carriers? We can only refit the actual seaplane cruisers into carriers. Yeah, Master and Commander, that's a film I've not seen for a while. I really do like the film's Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. Hearts of Iron, sorry, Cross of Iron. Is it Cross of Iron? I think it's Cross of Iron. Yeah, Cross of Iron is a really good film. Stalingrad, obviously a very good film. I've got to say that probably one of my favourite films is Starship Troopers. That is an incredibly good film. I don't think the director, Paul Van Hoven, really intended to make it as good as it turned out. I don't think he particularly understood the source book itself. Obviously, I need to get around to reading that book. What else do I like? Fucking love Godzilla, man. Love Shin Godzilla. Jesus, I'm trying to remember the actual films I like now. A lot, anyway. Okay, so we have Suzuya. Ah, yeah, The Cruel Sea, that's a good one. That was big, fantastic. Bloody love the Gibraltar run. That's incredible. Okay, let's get these forces dispatched then. So we have the 11th base force here. Yeah, okay. So their job is going to be head down here to Miri. There we go, couple thousand tons of supplies. Off they pop. Okay, so we do have our task force loaded up over here. That's very Irish. I think I've heard about that one. Right. How many men do I have on board here? So I have 16 infantry regiment. 2,400 men. I don't know if we'll be bombing this turn, but we'll consider it. Okay. So there is a garrison over here at Tarakan. 1,500 men here. Not a great level of detection, but... I might have them actually dispatch to this base here initially. We'll debate this one, I think. But at least it would give us an opportunity to actually have a base here in between the Sulu Sea and the Celebes Sea. Celebes. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay. So, I think we're going to call the stream to an end here. We will go over everything again just in case next stream. But yeah, this is going to be at least a 3-parter. So I'd like to say thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed this, please do consider supporting myself on Patreon. It does make a massive difference. And at the end of the day, I do use these funds to actually improve the channel content and actually purchase new books. Always really good. I think I just sent the homepage there. I think it's my homepage. Double check there. End of the day, don't worry if you can't. Not that you have to either. We've all got to eat. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and please do consider joining the Discord. Go ahead and join the conversation over there. Until next time, thank you for watching, and until probably tomorrow night, more than likely tomorrow night. Goodbye for now, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic evening, and a brilliant day. Goodbye for now.